So this assignment is opposite of what we did. What we just finished was the geometric forms assignment. And what we're going to be working on now is the opposite of geometric forms, and they're called organic forms. And organic forms are found in nature. Trees, animals, rocks, stones, lakes, all of those things are organic forms, organic shapes. And so for us, we're going to simplify that and go with what I call an amoeba. An amoeba in science class is a single-celled organism that kind of moves like plasma. And so for our little amoebas, it's going to look like a splat. And it's going to go in and out and have these little legs, and you just keep the line going until you finish it. That in and of itself may take some of you some practice. Okay? First time you try to do a splat or an amoeba may not work quite that easily. Okay? But you'll get it. All right? Once you do that, we're going to do what's called cross contour lines. And cross contour lines are just simply repeated lines over and over and over again, because we're going to make this two-dimensional shape look like a three-dimensional form. And we're going to start with a simple small circle, just like that. And I'm going to move in a little bit. And then we repeat that. And so the next circle is a little bit bigger. Next circle is a little bit bigger. It's like dropping a rock into a pond. And then the waves just kind of get bigger as it moves away from the point of impact. And make sure that your lines are curved enough to get the illusion.
Mr. Hilmer?
Yes?
Sorry to interrupt you. If we don't get this all exactly how you're doing it, is there going to be a video on Canvas on
yes.
how you're doing?
Yes.
Well, right.
Every video I do, every demo I do, there will be a corresponding video. Great question. And those will be under pages. Okay. Now, the last assignment we did was pretty much you knew what it was going to look like. Okay. The sphere, the cone, the cylinder, all of our projects looked pretty similar. This one will not. Your amoeba will not look like my amoeba. Okay, your amoeba will be a little bit different, and that's good. That's a good thing. This one is going to require you to just be a little bit more creative, but it's the technique that I'm showing you right now. Okay, so this one you just may want to watch for a second, because I'm going to show you the right way and I'm going to show you the wrong way. Now, it's easier for me to turn this so that I'm always moving away from myself. So the curves are away. It's much easier to do it this way for me than this way. I can do it this way, but I prefer to do it like this. And the line, so notice where I'm holding my pencil. Okay, I spent all last week saying hold it back here. Now I need a little bit more control. So I'm going to move it up a little bit. And all of these lines are single lines. I'm not sketching. I'm not doing it in a series of lines. I just move my pencil from one place to another, but I always close the gaps at the edge. And I'll show you more about what that means in a second. And I just continue on. You can play with the space between the lines a little bit, but you don't want these huge gaps either. Okay, so now you can see a little bit about how it's starting to take form. I'm going to go here, and now I have a bunch of choices. Okay, I got 4 different ways I can go, and there's a bunch of different ways I can do it. I can continue on like this. Or, you know, if that area closes, then I just continue on here. Or I can choose to make a seam. And I just make smaller circles here, smaller circles here. And so this seam is created. And this is my seam right here.
Mister, are we supposed to draw this right now?
Well, that's what I just said. You can, if you get it, you can draw along with me. If you don't get it just yet and I'm still explaining it, you can just wait. Just wait and watch, and then everything's going to become apparent in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so this seam is forming here, where it kind of separates. Okay, kind of looks like a butt. Here, I'm going to continue on. And finish. Here I will continue on. And every time I branch off, I have to redefine my curves. And again, I'm going to show you the wrong way to do it in just a minute. So just hang on a second. Here I will continue on. And eventually that seam gets closed. And I move on this way. This technique, although it looks easy, it will take practice for some of you. And then I'm going to just continue on here. Curve, 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 and curve. So that piece is done. Okay, so it's like an optical illusion type of thing. All right, so say I kind of got it, and I'm going to try another one. And your little forms can look like anything. I just prefer to kind of go in and out multiple times. Okay, so there's another amoeba. Then I start out the same way, start curving, but then somewhere along the lines, I forget to curve. And then I don't close the lines. So you can see a big difference. There's gaps at the edges. And then my lines stop curving. Well, this is what Coach said to do. And this is worst case scenario right here. But I've seen this as well. I'm just repeating lines, Coach. That's all I'm doing. Oh, this is easy. Okay. I got it. Hey, no problem. I'll be done in a couple minutes. See the difference? This one is done well and consistent. Curves all the way across. This one I will get from time to time, okay, by kids that just aren't really paying attention, and this is what it looks like, okay? So this is bad. Don't do this. Focus on this, okay? That's it in a nutshell, all right? Somebody's going to ask me, so the assignment is to do a bunch of these and fill up the space. You're not going to leave much negative space. Well, what's negative space? This is negative space. Okay? If you have a donut hole or a donut, right? The hole is the negative space. The donut is the positive space. This is all positive space. Everything in between is negative space. So when you fill up your paper with organic forms, all right, you're going to have mostly filled up with this. Can you have some negative space? Yes, but the positive space must outweigh the negative space. All right, so again, just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to show you one more time. And there's different types of shapes you can do. Well, can I do a worm? Yeah. Don't make any letters, numbers, things like that. Don't start spelling stuff out just yet. You can do negative space within your forms. So speaking of the donut, okay, now maybe you have this little hole. This is negative space and this is positive space. And I will start, I guess, back here. Again, start small, like a drop of, like dropping a rock into a pond. And just with a simple line, you just use your hand and just curve these babies around like this. Keep it consistent. This will be a challenge for some of you. But right now my job is to teach you as many techniques as I can. Will you need to fill up the paper? Yes, you will. So again, somebody will ask, how many forms do I have to do? Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Because some people will work very, very small and end up with 25 to 30 different forms before they fill out their complete paper. Others will work a little bit bigger and maybe use 15 to 20 or maybe 10 to 15 forms. If you end up with 2 or 3 forms, then you've missed the entire purpose of the assignment. And you just gone too big. Probably minimum forms, I would say 12. 10 at the least. Because you really can't do a good composition in less than 10 using this technique. Okay, and so you can kind of see how this little donut hole is right here, and the form goes around and then kind of goes in on itself. And that's another technique that you can use. But it looks like it should be flowing in and out, kind of like a lava lamp. Anybody ever had a lava lamp and the kind of goo inside kind of transmogrifies into these different shapes? This is the same type of thing. Once you get it, it's a fun technique. It's mindless in the manner that you can just kind of do it without thinking. You don't know what it's going to be before you start, so it takes kind of some of the stress off. And it's very repetitive, and it also should be very relaxing. If this stresses you out, go walk it off, get a drink of water, and then start again. This should not stress you out. But make sure your lines curve. Over and over and over again. All right? Now, speaking of rhythm, you can create different types of rhythm. So maybe I want to kind of create a little dip in my line. And then I repeat that dip. This will go off this way. And this will go off this way. So I just have this little ridge right here, which kind of makes it look like it's dipping in on itself. And that was very simple, and I just kind of changed my line a little bit. Most of these others will be curved. And the other thing is you're going to want to do what's called overlapping. Okay? In order to fill the space, you're going to have to start with another amoeba as if it is behind another one. Okay? So this one is behind this one. And that's going to create some more, not problems, but problems to be solved. Now, as I get to this part, I want to draw the illusion that these lines are coming from behind this other form. So this side will have gaps because actually it's in the middle of the line. And if I close these gaps, it would appear to be a seam. And that might be okay too. There's actually no right or wrong as far as that is concerned. And again, turn this around as many times as you need. So my advice to you, boys and girls, is to practice this technique a few times on a few different forms. Once you get it and you feel confident with it, then get a clean sheet and start your final project. I'll give you a few days on this. Remember that Monday is Labor Day, so I will not see you on Monday. I will see you the following Thursday. Okay, but you can be working on this throughout, and I have not set up a due date yet. Okay, so you start to see what it's supposed to look like. Because we have an extra day and we have Monday off, on Thursday, we might do some show and tell, see how you guys are doing, hold your pieces up to the camera, things like that. If you have questions on Wednesdays, you can come see me in Google Meet and we can work out some of it. If it's just not working, there's probably an easy solution to it. But send me an email first if you plan on coming on Wednesday so that I know to expect you. So I'm not sitting in front of my computer.
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Is this for this week's progress report?
No. No. For this week's progress report, and the reason why the progress report is so early is because we started school late. And it's all going to be based on participation. So if you participated last week, which most of you did, most of you guys are going to be fine.
Okay.
Okay?